Hi, I'm John. Welcome to Humble Shooting and Self-Defense. Today I wanted to go through several books related to self-defense. Just some of those that I enjoyed the most that I wanted to recommend to you all. By no means is this an all-inclusive list. I know that the majority of times we read these days, if we ever even read, it's coming digitally. I am an old school paper book guy. It's just my preferred way to read. I take highlighters to it and pens. I make separate notes. It's just one of the ways that I learn best. So I wanted to share some with you. First, I have to apologize. One of my preferred books isn't here, so I did have to get a stand-in. One of the books I wanted to share with you is called The Little Black Book of Violence, and I believe the subheading is something to the effect of what every young man needs to know about fighting and violence. And the reason I like that one, the biggest theme in the whole book is avoid violence. Don't get into fights. It's not worth it. There are unimaginable outcomes, and you just want to avoid fighting if at all possible. It gets into don't let your significant other get you into precarious situations. There are legal repercussions. There's the violence itself can hurt people or cause loss of life. Just avoid those altogether. It covers a small portion on the legal side of what to do if you've encountered a fight, and a tiny bit on how to fight. It's a good one, and I do like that heading. A lot of young men do need to read that, but the ladies and all ages as well. As a stand-in, so that way I could have 5 to show you. First, I have Games Criminals Play. Now, this was required reading during my very brief time being affiliated with corrections during my college years. Took a corrections class in college, and we read parts of this book, and I later read it all. Dr. William April, during a seminar I took from him years ago, he's since passed, but he was excellent at what he did. The best part of psychology that he relayed to me, more in a 4-hour class than I learned in a 4-year degree, was they don't think like we do. We hold ourselves to a certain moral conduct, a certain standard, an ethical bar, and the criminals that walk around us don't do the same. It is naive of us to think that they will abide by the same code of conduct that we do. This gives some insight into the horrible things people will do and how they will gladly take their time manipulating you and using you for their bad purposes. So that's one. This one is When Violence is the Answer by Tim Larkin. The subheading is Learning How to Do What It Takes When Your Life is at Stake. A lot of good information, including how we want to be a certain kind of person, how important mindset is. We talk about rules and conduct as well. We talk about not making ourselves look like a target. We learn to judge baselines in the area and not be the guy who attracts attention to himself, either trying to act tough or appear weak. We talk about the psychology of using violence, how the body shuts down or builds up, the process of engaging other people, and there's a little bit in here on techniques to use for self-defense, especially in the unarmed category. It's not a bad book. The next one's kind of a cheater. It's a 2-part book. They're their own books, but I cover them together. One is on killing and the other is on combat. Both are by Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. They are quintessential reading, and I'm thankful that I have this particular copy is signed to me. Let's talk about Grossman's books. It mainly addresses the psychology of how people must have a certain mindset to go into violence, how they are often changed by violent encounters, how they may wish to recover after instances of violence. It talks about many times where we've been so human-wise opposed to violence that it gives instances like American soldier testimony of I shot over the heads of my enemies, or rifles being picked up off of battlefields in the Civil War that just kept being loaded and loaded and loaded, with the theory that the individual, as long as they were loading, they didn't have to be shooting. So if I just keep loading, no one's going to be expecting me to be shooting. It talks about certain individuals performing better. I also like that it doesn't just address our response to violence as fight or flight. It goes further in detail with fight, flight, freeze, posture, or submit. And I think understanding those better helps us to understand things that we see in the world when violence happens a little bit better. So they are a great combo of books to add to your library. Up next, this is the newest one in my collection. I'm 3/4 of the way. I haven't quite done it yet, but because I'm reading it, I'll share it with you as well. This is Left of Bang by Patrick Van Horn and Jason A. Riley. It talks about using the Marine Corps hunter-killer program as a base of education for individuals and violence. It talks about things like understanding the Cooper Collar Code of Awareness, listening to the expert, what works, combat profiling, which I had never heard of, and then understanding that wherever we go, there's going to be violence. As long as humans inhabit the earth, there will be violent humans. That's just an unfortunate fact. It's not the guns. It's not socioeconomic driven. As long as people exist, there will be evil. And it talks about understanding mental and physical responses to violence as well, even though that's a common theme in here. It talks a little bit about reading a room, how to notice anomalies in your environment, and what to do. The title itself gets the name Left of Bang because the bang is the moment the violent act happens. Whether it was truly a gunshot or simply a self-defense moment, Left of Bang represents all of the time leading up to the moment where you could be better training and preparing for that moment. There is some emphasis on training, there's some emphasis on personal betterment and what you can be doing. And hopefully for your Left of Bang, you read the book and some other books as well. Very last one I have for you. This one is Choose Your Own Adventure by Greg Ellifritz. It's not a gunfight book. It's not a let's understand how violence occurs or mental aspects book. This book is about safe travel in dangerous places. Choose Adventure by Greg Ellifritz. And I was thankful he did autograph mine in person. Greg is a wonderful instructor, probably my single favorite instructor to go take classes from. I've got 11 or 12 classes under him now and will continue to do so for as long as I can. I encourage everyone to try and make it to him fairly soon. So even though it talks about travel, there's some good self-defense related stuff. Improvising weapons, figuring out how to get legal weapons or use common everyday items as weapons during travel. Travel might mean going to your local concert, or it might mean going to a third world country or on a cruise. It talks about how to look for scams, how to have discreet things, and understand what the kinds of weapons are you might find in other environments. It also, for self-defense, covers some anti-abduction methods that you can do. I don't know any of these others that said, here's how to not get kidnapped. This one has that too, and I think that's pretty good for self-defense. So that's my roughly 5 books that I'm going to recommend for self-defense. I'm John. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Humble Shooting and Self-Defense. If you found this useful, we always appreciate a like and subscribe and maybe share it with someone else who could use it. Until I see you next time, stay humble.